Russia with love.
Right, one sentence summary. Bond travels back from Istanbul with a prize and harasses the locals on the way. Could you be the villain? So Grant is an assassin who's been training to kill Bond. He works for Spectre. And he's a tough guy. He can take a punch from an old lady with knuckle dusters, like no problem, without flinching. But I reckon I could take him, because you know what? He probably can't survive being kicked off a train. So Bond suspects fairly quickly that there's something wrong with this dude. As soon as I'd kind of work that out, I'd be like, hey, Grant, can I come and talk to you privately over here by the door? Spartan kick! So yeah, I reckon I'd be alright. Women. Let's talk about the women in this film, shall we? He's all like, don't go catching feelings for this Russian girl. She's probably a double agent. And he obviously doesn't know Bond that well, because Bond has had sex with 4 ladies, at least, in this film, that we know of, including that Russian agent.
I fly to you.
And like, he's not going to catch feelings. If anything, someone's going to catch something from Bond. Those women really need to get themselves checked out. It feels disrespectful of the belly dancers to be filming them like from neck down, just like waggling their jubblies. Like, include their face, just treat them like they're a human, honestly. And there's a bit where Tatiana is all like, oh, I think my mouth is too big. And Bond is like, no, it's the right size from me. That's not even like a double entendre. That's just aggressively sexual to a woman who's just broken into your hotel room. Calm down, fella. And this film ends with Bond banging a chick on a boat. That's a theme. Vodka martini, does that get said to Bond in this film, or does he say it? No, I don't think so. And he doesn't say the name's Bond, James Bond. Is there a car chase? Yeah, there's a bit of like tension with the car. I'm going to have to clean my glasses again because there's still a spot on them. There's a bit of tension with like a slow car chase at the beginning. And then there is a van on helicopter chase. And then there's some boat on boat action. So yeah, I'll let it slide. Let's talk about the music. From Russia with Love song is like a real song in the world of the film because we hear it on the radio, and later Bond writes on a photograph From Russia with Love, so that's strange. And they do overuse the Bond theme again when he's just like walking around a hotel room and stuff, so like they haven't quite worked out. Use it for exciting stuff. What's the big stunt in this film? Probably the guy who ducks out of the way of a helicopter, and I don't think that was CGI. I think that was a real dude and a real helicopter. It probably wasn't as close as it looked, but, you know, still. How would you improve this film? So Spectre are going to take revenge on 007 for messing them about in Doctor No. So they have a guy who's a chess champion, and he's like their tactician, and there's way too much of him playing chess. He could have just shown him winning and then going to his evil Spectre meeting, doesn't matter. But the plot is, we're going to get a Russian woman to say she's going to defect and give the British the Russian spy machine like the Lecter, but only if Bond will pick him up. And then we're going to send an assassin dude who's been training to kill Bond to take him out, and also we're going to film Bond and the Russian woman and like threaten to release a sex tape, which is very strange. And throughout the film, Grant, the assassin, he has the drop on Bond like a couple of times, and like he doesn't kill him. So why not just, hey Bond, we've got a Russian woman, she'll only defect if you come pick her up. Go and pick her up, and then there's like 50 dudes with machine guns waiting for him. That would have been a better plan if you want revenge and kill someone. But anyways, right, there's a Spectre training facility. So like, think of you James Bond in like Q Branch, and they've got their dudes firing flamethrowers and rocket launchers in sandwiches, all that sort of stuff. The original one of those kind of training areas was for Spectre, and no one can hear any noise when it's just the other side of a fence, but when they can, there's people going hiya and all that sort of stuff. And then they walk through the same area twice. It's not a different training area, alright? Why did we also need, kind of following on from that scene, why did we need to see Grant getting oiled up like where he's sunbathing? I don't know what that had anything to do with the plot. She's the Russian woman who Spectre trick into thinking that Russia want her to defect for spying. And so she's at the bottom of a hill, she's in Istanbul, she's talking to her Russian friends, Then she walks up a big hill in cobblestones, dangerous. That should have been the big stump. Then she meets number 3, who used to work for Russian intelligence, but she's defected. But the Russians have kept it quiet, so Tatiana doesn't know that. And number 3 is all like, you need to defect and blah, 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 blah. And they're talking in English, and they're both Russians, which is weird, because we just saw Russians talking in Russian. But also, number 3 is like touching Tatiana and like patting her on the shoulder and stuff, and it's not appropriate. She needs to keep that out of the workplace.
Much wiser since my...
Speaking of, sexual harassment in the workplace, Moneypenny needs to stop encouraging Bond. She's only making this situation worse. And Q seems to be done with Bond's bullshit already, because he gives him a suitcase, like a spy suitcase, that if you open it the wrong way, it'll explode. So Q shows it to him, and he's like, now you do it, Bond. Now, that could be for the audience to make sure they get it. It could just be because Q doesn't trust Bond not to blow himself up. But he's also given, in this spy suitcase, a hidden gun, like pops out and shoots, a hidden knife, a fold-up rifle, and some money. And he doesn't use the knife, and he doesn't use the, fold-out gun, but he does use the rifle, more than once. We see too much of Bond's journey to Istanbul, and the kind of where he turns up there is very similar to Dr. No. So I don't know if that was a direct reference. I don't know if the books are just a formula. So, they start the same, so the films start the same. Who the Christ was that walking so close to my window? Anyway. Green Bay, the local contact. He's a bit of an odd character. He's like, all of my trusted employees are my sons. Also, I used to bend steel bars with my teeth for the circus. What the hell is he talking about? He's rambling on about nonsense. And he's got a beautiful girlfriend. I'm assuming not his wife, but he also has one. And he's all like, oh, she's pressuring me to get her into bed again. Ugh, it's a hard life. He's got to know that, this attractive young lady, if he was just working in, Tesco or whatever, would not be giving him a second chance. It's good to see Bond doing some spycraft and make sure his hotel isn't bugged, even though that's not one of the gadgets Q gave him. So he's checking for microphones and all that sort of stuff. He finds one, then he's like, look, hotel staff, I want to go to a different room. And then apparently he doesn't check that room because he gets spied on in that room. So there you go. There's a periscope MI6 have installed under KGB headquarters, and I'm very confused by it because they're in the sewer, they'll look through it. Also, there's rats crawling around the place. I don't think just rubbing it with a handkerchief is going to clean it. Don't put your eye on it. Anyway, so they're looking through the periscope. They can see into the meeting room at KGB HQ in Istanbul. And there's two ways that I can think this. Either the periscope is hidden behind a wall and there's a mouse hole or something, and they can just see through there. Or the top of the periscope is under a chair, and the Russians can see it. They know it's there. They're just ignoring it so they can give false information. There is a shot of Bond smiling in this, and I think it was actually a shot of Sean Connery smiling, because Bond seems to be a joyless bastard, so I don't think he smiles. And Bond goes to a gypsy camp with Kareem Bey. Excuse me. And two women are going to fight, and the winner is going to get to marry the chief's son. And we never find the conclusion to that plot. Don't know why they brought it up. But they're having a fight, and then their skirts disappear, I'm pretty sure, as well, but that's by the by. Then some Bulgarians turn up, and there's a bit of a scuffle. Yeah, so there's a bit of action going on, blah, 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 blah. The Bulgarians turn up. Bond is just mercilessly going through, beating anyone that comes near him. I don't think he's discriminating between the gypsies and the Bulgarians. And he saves the chief. And then later it's the chief is all or someone says for him because they don't speak the same language. The chief wants to thank you. You're now his son. Which is strange because they seem to be about the same age, but okay. And then he's like, the guy will do you a favour. And Bond's like, yeah, stop the girl fight. It's inhumane. And then he's like, okay, fine. But you've got to decide which of these two women will marry the son of the chief. And then Bond just has sex with them both, it's implied. How's that going to help anyone? Also, in that fight, you clearly see Kareem Bey. He gets injured, he gets wounded, he gets shot. So you see him with like fake blood in his hand, just go, been shot. Why would you include that in there? Just like have him go, oh no, and then like when he stands up, rub blood on his shirt later or something. Anyways, doesn't make much sense. Kareem Bey, he needs to assassinate some dude for his honour, and it just takes forever to line this shot up. So he's just like, because he's got a dodgy arm and all that sort of stuff. But when he finally pulls the trigger, the shot is in a different place to where we saw him meticulously lining it up. Weird. 50 minutes into the film, Bond still hasn't even met Tatiana Romanova, so try and speed that up a bit. And Bond is in his hotel room, he's going for a shower, he hears a suspicious noise and he stops. And then he just carries on with his shower. Then he hears another suspicious noise and he goes to investigate, and Tatiana is in his bed, so she's like broken into his hotel room. And he just, A, doesn't seem to check around to make sure she's not alone, because in my head, 50 Spectre agents are about to pounce on him. And B, he's just like, well, if you needed to shower before you pounced on this woman, probably smell a bit. Go and have a shower, just be polite, honestly. What happens to Tatiana after this film? Because like, she's never mentioned again to my knowledge, but she only defected because she's loyal to Russia and she thinks the Russian government want her to do that. So she can't ever go home because the Russians are like, no, fuck you, you defected. And she didn't really defect. She's stuck in like the UK, I guess. She doesn't know anyone. She doesn't believe in the ideology, and like the one guy she knows, Bond, is never going to speak to her again. So that's depressing. Tatiana, like her mission is to seduce Bond and like make him think that she's in love with him or whatever. And it's weird because she's all like, "Oh, you're only interested in the Lecter machine." I'm like, "Fucking obviously, all right. You're an attractive young lady, cool. But if Bond were a real man, like or a real person, sorry, he wouldn't just immediately fall in love with you because he's not mental. But he's not a real person. He is insane." Am I as exciting as all those Western girls? Bond's like, well, there was just one time that me and Em were in Tokyo. And then, like, their recording cuts off. Tokyo's even further west than Russia, I think. So, you know, that's weird. No, wait, it's even further east than Russia. Okay. Bond slaps Tatiana's ass, and she's all like, hey, there are some English traditions we ain't gonna continue with, okay? And then he also slaps her in the face. So Bond is not afraid to slap a lady at any point, it would seem. And we just saw an Indiana Jones style, this is the kind of travel route animation, and we see the train pull up into a town. And then the very next shot is the actual train pulling into the station, and we see the name of the town. We don't need to do that, just hurry up. So Grant, the assassin, he's been following Bond around for the whole film, and he never speaks until there's like half an hour left, and then you just cannot shut him up. Grant is trained to kill James Bond, and he seems to be pretty good at it. He's like always one step ahead, but he's obviously not been trained in how to subtly drug someone's drink, because he like knocks over a glass and he's like, oops, oh no, I'll just clear that up. Ha ha ha, no one noticed. And it's like, it's so obvious. He might as well have just like put that in there, give you a drink. Would you like to drink that? Anyway. So the fight between Bond and Grant in the train car is pretty good. It's tense. I don't know if it was choreographed. It must have been, but you know, whatever. But it is the second time in this film that someone does a whole like big old leap for someone else and then completely misses them. So.
Goodbye to you.
So Bond and Tatiana escape. Grant is dead. You know, he's been. I'll come back to that. So they get. Bond like captures this other Spectre agent, and they drive to a location. And there's a bit of drama with a helicopter. Bond shoots it down. He loses his hat, and then like later just picks up another hat like it's a disposable object. He treats hats the same way he treats women, honestly. Anyway, so they get to this like boat where presumably Grant was going to escape through, and you think, oh, maybe Bond has kept this other Spectre agent alive for information, but the guy's like tied up, and Bond pushes him in the water. So I think he just kept him alive until he could drown him because he's a sociopath. Did they not have radios on boats back in like 1963? Because I'm sure they must have done, but the Spectre agents are communicating with a megaphone like, hey, heard him over there. Make sure you don't kill him. We want him alive. It's just like, use a radio so they can't hear what you're doing. And also I call bullshit on Bond reloading that flare pistol so quickly. So Grant, the assassin dude, played by Robert Shaw.
I've traveled the world.
He's the physical threat that's built up throughout the entire film, and their fight is pretty good. You know, it's like, oh, it's tense. This would be a good climax of the film. It's not the climax of the film though. The final fight right at the very end is Bond versus number 3, who's like a 50-year-old lady who's got a knife shoe.
To learn.
If Grant had been revealed to be alive and he had turned up with number 3, that would have been like a, oh my god, how's Bond going to get out of this moment? But it wasn't. He just like pinned an old lady to a wall with a chair.
I must return.
Very strange. Also, Bond, do not put your feet on furniture, right? You've got your shoes on that chair, you disrespectful bastard. Bond will return in Goldfinger. How did they know this film was going to be a success? They'd like already booked in the sequel before this one had been released, it would seem. And Blofeld's name didn't appear anywhere in the film. It was just like you see the back of his head and he's got hair in this and stuff like that. But like his name is credited as question mark, so alright, building up the mystery I suppose, but who really cares? Rating out of 5 beers. There are little moments in this film which are kind of a good performance from Sean Connery. There's a bit where Tatiana has a gun pointed at him rather innocently, and he's all like, whoa, oh boy. So that's pretty good. And yeah, apart from that, it was a bit long. I like the concept of this, but like it was too long, this film. So I would give it and like the whole stupid Grant, the evil guy, just dies and then he fights an old lady. Anyway, yeah, I would give this a 3 beers out of 5, in the middle-ish. Cool, bye.
From Russia with love, I've seen places